This week's Torah portion, Toldot, speaks of the birth of Yaakov and Esav and the sale of the birthright that Yaakov gets from Esav. V'yigdalu hana'arim, and these young men grew up. Vayihi Esav ish yodea tza'id ish tzadzeh, and Esav was a man of the field, and he knew how to hunt. And Yaakov, on the other hand, ish tam, yoshev ohalim, he studied and he sat in the tent. V'yahav Yitzchak et Esav ki tza'id bafiv, and Yitzchak favored Esav because he liked the taste of that wild game in his mouth. V'Rivka ohevet Yaakov, and Rivka, she loved Yaakov. V'yazed Yaakov nazid, and Yaakov made this kind of stew. V'yavo Esav min hasadeh hu ayef, and one day that he made this stew, Esav came in from the field and he was very hungry. Vayomer Esav el Yaakov, and so he said to his brother Yaakov, Halitani na min ha'adom hazeh ki ayef anochi al kain karashimo Edom. He said, let me swallow some of that red stuff there, and that's why they called him Edom, red one. So the commentators expound on this, and they say that this word haliteni only appears but once or twice in the whole Tanakh. And what it really means is, let me swallow, or as Rashi says, I will open my mouth up wide and you will pour it in. And it appears again, this word, in the Mishnah of Masechet Shabbat, when one says you are allowed to pour food into a mouth of a camel on Shabbat, but you cannot force feed him. Rabbeinu Bachya also has a comment on this word, haliteni, let me swallow. And he says, compare this to what Eliezer said in our last chapter, when he says, Hagmi'eni na ma'ad ma'ayim to Rivka, give me just a little sip of water that I may quench my thirst. And so we see the contrast here of Esav and his character as seen through the lens of the rabbis. And what does he say? Give me some of that red stuff. What is that red stuff? And Rashi says, oh, this is adashim. These are lentils. And so does the Ramban concur with that as well. And why did they say his name was Edom? So Sephorno says, Al-Kain Karash Shemo Edom, because Esav couldn't even say the word adashim, lentils. He could only say Adom. And so because of that they called him the red one. And so Ramban Nachmanides expounds a little further on these red lentils, saying that it could be the red lentil, but it could also be an agent that makes it red. It's customary on Parshat Toldot to make lentil stew or lentil soup. And you can use the red lentils like they sell in the store. They're actually a little bit orange. But as you cook the lentil stew, you will find that the color just turns pale. So here's a little tip from the Ramban. If you'd like to make it a little bit more red, just put in a couple drops of red food coloring. Enjoy your adashim and Shabbat Shalom.